Welcome to Storytime with Red. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We truly appreciate every single one of you. Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to connect. Now, let's dive into today's story. Life has a twisted sense of humor. It lulls you into a sense of comfort, makes you believe everything is steady, safe, and then out of nowhere, it turns your entire world upside down. That's exactly what happened to me. After 10 years of marriage, after building a life together from the ground up, I thought I could count on Diana, my wife. I believed she'd always be there. But comfort can be deceiving. Diana and I had built our routines. Sunday mornings filled with pancakes, quiet dinners on Fridays at a small Italian place we loved, and movie nights on Saturdays. Always romantic comedies that she picked and I pretended to complain about. It wasn't flashy, but it was familiar. Ours. Or at least I thought it was. Then came the comments. At first, they were small, barely noticeable. A quick jab at how I didn't look like I used to. Suggestions that I should hit the gym. Critiques of how I ate. I brushed it off. I mean, who doesn't put on a little weight over the years? Working in finance was draining. Long hours, stress, late-night dinners washed down with drinks. It came with the territory. But the remarks didn't stop. They turned colder, sharper. Kellen, I need you to listen. I can't stay attracted to someone who doesn't take care of himself. She said it calmly, sitting across from me at dinner, like it was just another observation. I stared at her, expecting her to laugh, to take it back, but she was stone serious. If you don't lose weight, you'll lose me. That hit like a punch to the gut. It wasn't just a comment. It was a warning, a threat. And in that moment, I knew something was already broken. She didn't see me the same anymore. She'd made up her mind. I wish I'd stood up for myself, pushed back, pleaded for our marriage, but I was frozen. I watched as she grabbed her purse and walked out. She didn't return that night. When she did come back the next morning, it wasn't with regret. She had a suitcase in hand. I need space, she told me. You need to decide what matters more, your health or our relationship. And just like that, she was gone again. But something in me broke, or maybe something finally woke up. First came the numbness, then came the rage, and then the emptiness. I drank more, stayed up late watching the front door, hoping it would swing open, and she'd tell me it was all a mistake, that she still loved me. She never did. One night, I caught my reflection in the mirror. I barely recognized a man looking back, tired, disheveled, hollow. Maybe she was right. I had let myself go. But then a different thought crossed my mind. Why should I become a better man for someone who no longer loved me? So I changed, but not for her. I did it for me. I cleaned out the junk in my kitchen, signed up at the gym, and committed to the work. It was brutal at first, but soon the weight came off. The muscles returned. I bought new clothes, got a fresh haircut, shaved the beard. Piece by piece, I rebuilt myself. And when you know it, just when I stopped hoping for her return, she came back. She showed up at my apartment one evening, suitcase in hand, her expression cool and confident like she expected to walk right back into my life. But before I could say anything, a voice called out from inside, "Oh, you must be Kellen's wife." Diana's eyes flicked past me to the woman standing behind me, tall, stunning, confident, and wearing my shirt. Her name was Jolene. And just like that, Diana understood. This wasn't the home she'd left. This wasn't the man she'd walked away from. I wasn't the same. She didn't say a word at first, just stared. Then came the backlash. "Seriously, Kellen? This is what you've been doing while I was gone." Jolene didn't flinch. "Didn't you leave him for another guy?" Diana stiffened. She had, and I knew it. I stepped in closer, voice steady. "How'd that work out for you?" Her lips tightened. No words. She didn't have to say anything. I already knew the truth. The man she left me for, her boss, a rich, charming executive, had promised her something thrilling, something better. But he'd used her and tossed her aside. Now that her fantasy had burned to ash, she came crawling back, expecting the old Kellen to be waiting with open arms. She was too late. Diana had miscalculated. She assumed I'd still be shattered, desperate, willing to forgive anything. But she didn't understand that every day since she walked out, I'd been preparing for this moment. I crossed my arms and said quietly, "You should go." She didn't move. "We need to talk." "No," I said, "we don't." Jolene handed her an envelope. Divorce papers. "You should sign them." Diana's hands trembled as she flipped through the documents. Her expression shifted from confusion to panic. "What the hell is this?" she asked. I watched her closely, calm and collected. She looked at me, eyes wide, fear beginning to set in. "You wouldn't." I smiled. "But I did." While she was off chasing someone else, I'd been taking care of business. I froze our joint accounts, took full legal ownership of the house. I had documented evidence of her affair, solid ground in court, and the most important part, I filed for full custody of our daughter. She was about to lose everything. Diana staggered back a step, gripping the papers like they were a grenade. "You can't do this." I stepped forward. My voice dropped. "I already did." She stared at me like she didn't recognize the man in front of her, because she didn't. The man she had torn down was gone. This man was stronger, smarter, and completely done with her. "You thought I was weak," I said. "You thought you could abandon me and I'd be waiting. But look at you, you got nothing. No man, no money, no home." Her voice broke. "Kellen, please, let's talk about this." I tilted my head slightly, watching her like I was a stranger, because that's what she was now. "Talk." I asked. "You didn't want to talk before. Why should I listen now?" She reached out, desperate. "I made a mistake." Jolene rolled her eyes. Biggest understatement of the year. Diana shot her a sharp look, but her attention snapped back to me. "We had something," she pleaded. "A life, a daughter." There was she used our daughter's name, the one card she thought she could still play. But I wasn't the same man anymore. "Our daughter," I repeated, voice cold. "The one you walked out on, the one you barely even called since you left." Diana's expression cracked completely, and in that moment she realized what I had known for months. She had already lost. Even when she was standing right in front of me, it was like she wasn't really there. Diana flinched as if my words had struck her. I stepped closer, my tone dropping to a low, razor-sharp whisper. "You left, Diana, while you were out chasing some fantasy. I stayed. I made sure our daughter never once questioned if her father loved her. I got full custody. You have nothing." Her hands trembled. "No, that's not possible." I let the silence stretch, watching as the truth finally took hold. She had given up everything for a lie, and that lie had abandoned her. She had come back expecting something. Anything. But there was nothing left for her. Her silence was louder than any excuse. The man she ran off with, the so-called upgrade, had thrown her away. I leaned casually against the doorframe, arms folded. "What happened, Diana?" I asked. "He dumped you, didn't he?" Her lips pressed together in defiance, but she didn't answer. Jolene, standing behind me, let out a quiet, smug laugh. "I bet he did. Cheaters don't trade up. They just make the same mistake in a new suit." Diana's face twisted, part shame, part fury. "You don't know what you're talking about." But I did. While she was gone, I'd done my homework. The man she left me for wasn't some Prince Charming. He was already married. And when his wife found out, he tossed Diana aside like expired stock. Karma had moved faster than I ever could. Still, I wasn't finished. She took a shaky breath, her grip tightening on the divorce papers. "Kellen, I just need time. We can work through this." I laughed, actually laughed. "You still don't get it, do you? This is a negotiation. You don't have time." Her eyes narrowed. "What are you saying?" I stepped forward, letting the cold in my voice do the damage. "While you were off playing house with someone else, I wasn't just mourning. I was preparing. I made sure you had nothing left to crawl back to." She went pale. "You wouldn't." I did. "The house? It's mine. The accounts? Locked. Your precious career? Gone." I had sent everything, every message, every photo, to her boss. Diana had built her image on ambition and integrity, but in her world, betrayal is a career killer. By now, she had likely already seen the damage. Her purse vibrated. She fumbled for her phone, her face draining of color as she read whatever message had come through. Then she broke. "Kellen, please, you don't have to do this." I leaned in, voice flat and final. "Oh, but I do." She looked around, dazed, like she might bolt. "You're ruining my life," she whispered. I smiled. "No, Diana, you ruin it all on your own." She opened her mouth to argue, but Jolene stepped forward and offered her a pen. "Be smart. Sign the papers." Her jaw clenched. For a second, I thought she might tear them up, fight to the bitter end. But there was nothing left to fight for. Her lover was gone, her job destroyed, the house, the daughter, mine. Hands trembling, she signed. And with that, Diana became nothing more than a ghost of my past. As she stood there, hollow and defeated, I couldn't help but say one last thing. "You know what hurts the most?" I asked. "I actually loved you. I would have fought for us. But you tossed me aside like I was nothing." Her eyes welled up, lips parted to speak, but I was done. I stepped aside and motioned toward the door. "Go. You're not welcome here anymore." She hesitated, maybe expecting me to change my mind. But then she picked up her suitcase and walked out for the last time. I watched her leave. I had won. I had taken everything from the woman who betrayed me. But as the door closed, I felt nothing. No relief, no joy, just a hollow ache. Revenge, it turned out, wasn't as satisfying as I thought it would be. Jolene touched my arm, snapping me out of it. "You okay?" I nodded, exhaling. "Yeah, but I wasn't." I had spent months burning for this moment, fueled by rage. Now that it was done, there was nothing left to chase. Diana was broke, homeless, alone. She had reached out to friends, tried to find shelter in old connections, but everyone turned their backs. She had burned too many bridges. Good. Jolene stayed by my side. She hadn't flinched through any of this. Most people would have run from the wreckage, but not her. She leaned against the counter, sipping coffee like it was any other morning. So she said, "What now?" I met her gaze. "Now I move on." She raised an eyebrow. "With me?" I chuckled. "Guess you'll have to stick around and find out." Jolene didn't need me. She wasn't like Diana, clinging to illusions. She had her own dreams, her own path. And yet she stayed. That meant something. Just when I thought it was over, Diana made one last pathetic move. She showed up at my office. I was in a meeting when the receptionist buzzed. "Sarah, there's a woman here, says it's urgent." I knew who it was. "Tell her I'm busy. She says she'll go to the police if you don't speak to her." I sighed. Of course she did. Diana was waiting, arms crossed, eyes wide with desperation. "You think you can ruin my life and just walk away?" She spat. I didn't even blink. "I already did." She stepped closer, her voice low. "I can destroy you, Kellen. All it takes is one accusation." I smirked. "You're really that desperate?" "Watch me," she hissed. I leaned in, voice sharp. "Go ahead, Diana. But don't forget," I kept everything. Every text, every message, every lie you wrote to him. "You go after me, I bury you." She went white. She turned and left without another word. I never heard from her again. For the first time in years, I felt free. No more wondering if I was enough. No more begging for scraps of affection. I was done, and I was better without her. Jolene and I took things slow. She wasn't a rebound. She was something real. One night, sitting on the balcony, watching the city glow, she turned to me. "Kellen, yeah, you ever been telling me how you really feel?" I ran a hand through my hair. "Not yet." She nodded, calm. "That's okay. I'll wait." Diana never would have waited. And that's how I knew this was different. Months passed. I didn't think about Diana again until one day, an email arrived from her.